Groaners, welcome along to episode 86, which brings us to our Father's Day in the UK special. Hopefully not mixed in with my coughs, as I still cannot shake it. We'll bring you the usual content you love, but it's in random order today, and also some interesting things you may or may not know about Father's Day. Speaking of Father's Day, here comes fact number 1. Father's Day. The first unofficial Father's Day occurred in 1910. So it's been going for over 100 years unofficially. More facts to come later. First game kicking off. In a bit of a shake-up, it's going to be double Down Dummies. Only one round this week. You'll see why later. The title of the story is Father Knows Best. When did it occur? 13th of March, the year 2000 in New Jersey, USA. Our Darwiner Andrew and his fiancée lived together with their 3 kids. On the fateful day, an explosive argument happened over chocolate cake icing. A container went missing and Andrew accused his 10-year-old son of taking it. They both really started going at it. Suddenly, the argument got even more emotional when they took it to the garage. But how did this lead to his death? Was it A. Andrew put a knife in his son's hand and demanded he stab him? After much prodding and goading, the boy obliged, straight in the chest. Option B. Andrew challenged his son to a duel with hammers. Andrew lost after being struck in the head 3 times. Or was option C. After belittling the boy, he found himself ran through with a pitchfork? Go Groaners, give me your answers. What you got? Appearing after the fact, you pause, answer, unpause. C's? Any more? Ooh, C's. C's are coming in hard. And a B. And a couple of A's. Okay, we have a spread. Okie dokie. Like I said, there's only one round today, and that answer will be revealed later. But I came across the following that is beyond belief, and tags on as a why, because I couldn't make this into a double Down Dummies because it's too great. Why? My Father the PhD. This story is from 2009 and full credit goes to DarwinAwards.com. This weekend was the final straw. Being an extremely cost-conscious person, Dad decided that putting half a can of varnish in the toaster oven to liquefy it was the cheapest approach. You guessed it, the stuff caught fire. I found him in front of the flaming oven, contemplating picking up the can with his bare hands. 2-foot flames were shooting out of it, causing me to utter a line spoken far too many times in our house. What in God's name were you thinking? Father's attempts at Darwin fame have included the following. 1. Tipping a small boat on Cayuga Lake while fishing, almost drowning my brother and himself. At the time I thought Mom was being too hard on him when she said it was his own fault that he was in the hospital. I have since revised my judgment. 2. Removing a branch from a locust tree by climbing a ladder with a running chainsaw. The branch was not tied off properly, so it fell onto a shed roof that he was trying to avoid. 3. Rolling a lawn tractor on top of himself by mowing a roadside ditch at a steep angle, resulting in a broken rib and poison ivy for me, because I spent 10 minutes thrashing around in the vegetation while we tried to roll the tractor off again. While we tried to roll the tractor off Dad again. 4. Fourth but not least, lighting a fire in a basement trash burner that was not connected to an exhaust pipe. The fire department love us. 5. Wandering off to watch the evening news after starting some water to boil in an aluminium Dutch oven. Note that the Merck Index lists the melting point of aluminium as 660 degrees centigrade. When Mom discovered the situation, the pot walls were glowing bright red, the bottom was melted out, and the kitchen wall was smoking. 6. Testing the efficiency of old nitroglycerin tablets by swallowing 3 at once to see if they still worked. I did say he was cheap, cost conscious. The EMS came to the rescue because his blood pressure dropped to an undesirable level and he was passed out at the kitchen table. Mere minutes before, he was planning a drive to the donut shop. Thank God he didn't make it to the car before his blood pressure dropped. He may not have yet used up his 9 lives, but my father, the PhD, appears to have a running start on Darwin infamy. Wow. Full credit again goes to darwinawards.com for publishing this story. It seems the guy is bound for Darwin glory, but what a dad. Still around. But all of these dumb things he did, is he crazy? Or just testing the chances of fate? I've just got to ask, why oh why? Why oh why, person's dad? Why? With our last story, we've asked the whys, but now I feel as though I need my groan time. Here we go. My groans. People who take their parents for granted. Your parents, parent, foster parent or guardian may have your back, but that doesn't mean you should milk them for money, etc, etc. Appreciate them, because when they are gone, you are on your own in the big bad world. When people walk around with their bums showing over their waistline and they don't even pull their pants up. Male or female, etc., please, for the love of the Almighty, please pull your pants up. 1. For your own dignity, and 2. To spare our eyes for seeing the line between your bum cheeks. No one wants to see that. When a mother in a court case uses the kids to hurt the father, this could be taking away rights to see them, or reduce the days he can see them. If this is for no good reason, then the court should throw this out based on how unfair it is. Marriage, etc. may not always work, but the kid or kids are not the bargaining chip you can use as leverage to hurt somebody else. That's the groan bag empty for another day. More will be set free in next week's episode. But I sense another fact coming on. Father's Day fact number 2. In the UK, Father's Day wasn't officially recognised as our national holiday until 1972. So we were a little bit behind with everybody else. And from facts now, we move on to our unlucky! So some of you may say that the Big Mac is the daddy of all fast food burgers. However, McDonald's got a dose of unluckiness when an EU court stated they had not used the term chicken Big Mac for long enough in relation to poultry, and thusly it cannot trademark it. This means that when it comes to chicken, any other takeaway or fast food place can use the term chicken Big Mac without repercussions. Unlucky McDonald's! We now have one of you itching to get your groan read out now with the audience groan. This one comes in from Joan of Beamish, who sent this in via a verbal groan on my recent visit to Beamish Open Air Museum in the northeast of England. And she groans, song remakes of classics. Why do some artists out there rip out the feeling and soul of an original song? It kills me when some remakes even mess up the tune or add unnecessary electronic beats to the song. Joan, I fully agree. It's rubbish really, and I don't understand it at all. Why not just make something original, or maybe even a tribute, like borrow a couple of notes from the song, don't kill it? However, if you throw us a groan, tell us your why or why, an unlucky story, nominate a Zero Hero of the Week, give us your feedback or ideas, you can do so by doing one of the following. You can fire off a comment on any episode and it'll be added to the queue when we pick it up. You can find us on Discord under the Groan Zone. You can shoot us an email to thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. You can find myself, that's Mystery Groaner, or you can find Admin Nicole, that's Nicole Amos, on Facebook Messenger. You can even join us on Facebook groups under the Groan Zone podcast. Your contributions are always welcome, groaners, and we do appreciate them. Now, we've all taken a turn of groaning, but now it's time to switch on the creepy with Admin Nicole's Creepy Corner. Your story this week is called The Torment of Life. But before we begin, our apologies, as this story had already been written before we realised it was Father's Day special and it was too late to change. So onwards with the story with that in mind. As Crunch raised his sword to take down the new enemy, Dread immediately grabbed his arm to stop him. He approached the massive cockroaches and asked for forgiveness before allowing them to relay their message. It was a warning to leave the asylum while they still can. After that, the humanoid massive cockroaches quickly fell to the ground and dispersed, running in all directions. The old man wanted answers, and that's when Dread revealed the truth. All creatures from the realm of nightmares have the ability to see a real nightmare. There are few types of nightmares, but only one that is worth being cautious around. That mass of cockroaches was simply a trapped soul. No doubt one of the patients there, who was trapped by his pain and died thinking he would never find a way out of it. That final thought caused him to be trapped in the asylum like many others, no doubt. They can sometimes manifest enough energy to possess creatures or objects to pass on a message to any strangers unfortunate enough to enter. This soul was of no threat to them. He merely wanted to save them, perhaps even allowing himself to stay in such a place to save as many wayward souls as he could. I doubt the rats were scared of a bunch of lost souls though. They must have seen worse, right? They all asked. The old man helped her up and apologised for his rash decision to throw her out of the room, but naturally she wasn't mad. The old man would do anything to save people, as was his nature, so this was normal for him. Viola was right though. Rats are intelligent creatures, and have seen all manners of horrors, so it couldn't have been a few wandering souls that scared them. However, as Viola looked around, she noticed Ivy was missing. Rosa and Lila too. They must have snuck off in the commotion, so now they were forced to split up. Coco and Dread searched the building they were in, taking Talia with them. She remained as quiet as ever. Crunch would go find Moa and Bob, while the old man and Viola would take Valencia outside to search for more clues. Once outside, they saw the rooftops all lined with ravens. It had been like this since they got out of the sewer. Ravens would follow them from a distance, keeping watch over them. Valencia was now stuck in the form of a raven, so it was no doubt more than a mere coincidence that ravens had begun to follow them. As the old man and Viola sat on the grass under the shade, they looked down at Valencia. She looked so peaceful as she slept. At the same time, there was something off. It was almost like she was struggling with something while she slept. Ravens flew down from the roof and began to circle Valencia. They looked at one another as if they were talking amongst themselves. The old man and Viola could only watch with curiosity to see what they might do. Just then crows flew in from out of nowhere, almost as if they were hiding somewhere, and the ravens suddenly got defensive over Valencia. The crows began to approach the ravens, looking as if they were ready to fight. "Should we do something, or get in the middle of it, do you think?" the old man asked. "I think the ravens have it covered, but I sure wish Coco was here so he knew what they were saying at least. She's the only one who understands every language after all. Perks of being a guiding star, I guess. I should probably do more as a tooth fairy myself. I've been thinking of weaponizing teeth. I wonder if I can find some here," she replied. Just then Coco overheard the noise and rushed outside. She immediately started yelling at the old man after hearing what the birds were arguing about and told him to bring Valencia inside and to hurry. The old man and Viola were both startled and confused, but as he looked down at Valencia, all the ravens began looking at him as if to agree with Coco. He picked up Valencia, but as soon as he did, the crows were not happy. They ran to the building's entrance, but the crows started to follow. They really wanted Valencia for themselves. The ravens were able to hold them off long enough for them to get inside. When they asked Coco what happened, she told them about the argument the crows and ravens were having. The ravens were trying to protect Valencia, seeing her as their queen, but the crows worked for somebody else. The crows wanted Valencia for their boss. They all kept repeating the same thing. The bride of death is finally ready, her true form at least. Death has been waiting far too long. Another well-written story there, Admin Nicole. And the more I think about it, the more the old man seems to be a kind of father figure to all of those he has looked out for. Isn't that a strange thing? But it's time for another game in the form of the 5-point countdown now. And we'll get straight in there with clue number 5. I can sometimes be the first word babies say as they develop. That clue one more time. Clue 5 for 5 points. I can sometimes be the first word babies say as they develop. What you got, groaners? Give me your answers, please. That's if you have any. If you play after the fact, you pause, answer, unpause. And remember, in this game, if you get it right, but you change to a wrong answer, you don't pick up points again until you change to a right answer again. We have Dad coming in. Okay. Good guesses, groaners. Good guess. Moving on. Clue number 4. Sadly, not everyone out there has one, but many may have lost one. I'll do it one more time. Clue number 4 for 4 points. Sadly, not everyone out there has one, but many may have lost one. Pause again, groaners, playing after the fact. Then give your answer, unpause. Playing along live, here's where you give your guesses in. What do you have, groaners? I think they're sticking with Dad. Okay, clue number 3. For 3 points. I play a vital role in weddings. Number 3 for 3 points. I play a vital role in weddings. If you're playing after the fact, you pause now, answer, unpause. And I think the groans playing along live are sticking with Dad, because no more guesses are coming in. Okay, moving on. Clue number 2 for 2 points. If you add the term sugar, I become someone totally different. That clue one more time for 2 points. If you add the term sugar, I become someone totally different. Pause now, groaners. Answer, unpause, playing along live. Give me your answers, please. Give me your guesses. What do you have, groaners? I think on that clue, I may have just stumped the groaners playing along live. Been a while. And last one, last clue for the game. Clue number 1 for 1 point. I am part of a slang term used in the 1950s and 60s. That clue one more time. Clue number 1 for 1 point. I am part of a slang term used in the 1950s and 60s. Give me your answers now, groaners. You play along after the fact, you pause, answer, unpause. You've only got a couple more seconds, groaners, to put those answers in. What do you got? Okay, that's it, groaners. No more. The answer will come later on. We now have one more fact to get through, and here we go. Father's Day fact number 3. According to Hallmark, Father's Day is the 5th largest card sending day. And that's our final Father's Day fact for this year. Hopefully, you found out something you didn't know. It's that time now where we have our hero of the week. But really, these are heroes for all time. If you're a dad, in any shape or form, keep doing all that you do, as your child will appreciate you and you are their hero. And now we roll over to our final game for this week, which is of course Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. Your anagram is Cataria Heights. That's C-A-T-A-R-I-A Heights. Your clue, a famous author. I have no idea, once again. The answer will be given on next week's show. And speaking of game answers, here they come. From last week, we have Who the Hell Am I? In last week's special, your clue was this Scottish comic youth is famous for sitting on a bucket and kept people laughing during World War II, including when the D-Day landings occurred. Your answer was Ua Woolley, and he's a famous Scottish comic book character. And I'm a big fan because I've got loads of annuals. The 5-point countdown for this week. The answer, and I'm only accepting this as an answer, only this word, the answer was Daddy. Double Down Dummies now. Father Knows Best was the story. Your correct outcome was A. Andrew put a knife in his son's hand and demanded he stab him. After much prodding and goading, the boy obliged straight in the chest. What a completely stupid man. All that over chocolate icing? The boy was charged, but due to his age, he probably wouldn't face jail time as well as being provoked. And groaners, that brings another special to an end. 2 specials in the space of 2 weeks. Apologies once again if any of my coughs or errors slip through after editing. To my own dad, who listens regularly, I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day. See you next week, Groaners. Bye-bye.